welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out, riding the hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. We're out in Spangler today for President's Day weekend, just having a fun time with the family, getting some good conditioning and some good technical training. I love this open, fast flow of a desert with the whoops. It's really good for the conditioning of your legs. And then I'm going to find some canyons over here that are really going to be quite a challenge as far as a hard enduro style riding is going. There's kind of a couple of hidden trails. Well, not really hidden, they're just not as well traveled. And I'm going to find those. And it could be a lot of fun. But Spangler's a great area. It is a President's Day weekend, so it is a lot of traffic out here, side by sides, other riders. So like this crossing here, you got to be mindful. People can be coming from this left or right, and you don't want to get T-boned. So just be careful when you're cutting across kind of open ground, especially with the side by sides, because they'll be flying through here. And just keep your head on swivel. Got a nice little hill climb coming up here. This is, if you guys ever seen any of the other Hare and Hound races, this is a lot like you'd see in a Loop 2 of a Hare and Hound. If you're not familiar with Hare and Hound races, basically you got two big laps, they call them loops. They're two big loops, about 40 miles each. And the first loop's a little easier. It's very fast paced. Couple of hills, nothing too hard. You still got to dodge rocks. But Loop 2 gets a lot harder and has this kind of climbs and technical stuff. There's an old abandoned mine. A lot of abandoned mines out here in Spangler. You got to be careful of those. They're not marked, and they're just open holes, open pits. It's like a pit of doom right there. Going down here, this is a nice steep downhill that I rode yesterday, so this is my second day riding. So I did this yesterday just to kind of recon the route I was going to take today, so I'd make sure I was going to get a good route to get on the GoPro here, and I wanted to find some hard stuff. So I did, and these are a little bit less traveled routes. They are pretty rocky, pretty hard, and good training. I love this style of riding here. I mean, I like all styles of riding, but this is my bread and butter. Got a little arm pump building up. I feel pretty good today, though. I feel like my conditioning was not too bad. Nice little steep step downs right there. Now I'm going to hit this up on the way back, but that'll be later in the video. See how I made that, made it going up that. Of course, it doesn't look so bad on the GoPro, but y'all know GoPro never does it justice. So I'm going to cut right here. A couple other ribbon lines. I think there might have been a different race out this weekend. That's another thing, Spangler. There's always something going on, different races going on. So just be mindful of where you're riding. Here's a nice steep uphill. Loose rocks. Just keeping on the throttle, keeping the balance. I'm getting bounced around quite a bit, but just letting the bike move underneath me and keeping the gas on. And Trixie here, she's climbing up to the top. Now the rear tire, today I'm still running that IRC, the VE33S that I ran in King of the Motos, and she is worn out. And this is, gummy tires do wear much faster than your motocross tires, a hard rubber tire, but even a worn out gummy still gets amazing traction on rocks, and it does really good, taking the impact of rocks because it is softer. Now I do have my Moose on the back. It is pretty broken in, and I will be changing that out before the race next week. I'll put on another Moose. I do drill out the Mooses, and it gives it nice and a soft, spongy kind of feel to it. It really helps absorb a lot of these sharp rocks, I feel. Just doing engine off as I go down here. Now my front brake is really soft, or not grabbing. My fork seals blew during King of the Motos, and I got fork oil all over my front disc brake, and I changed out the course of the seals and cleaned it off, but there's still a little residue I feel on there, so it took a long time for the oil to kind of burn off before that front brake got good again. So it's a little spongy in the beginning here. So I found this trail yesterday, And of course, there's a route through here, but you can tell it just hasn't been ridden in a while. And it's a rocky climb up here, and we're gonna climb over the top, go down, and then you climb up this canyon. This canyon's gonna get into that really rocky, like King of the Motos style of canyon, where it's just a very rocky climb up, hard enduro style. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. These rock climbs here, you gotta be on the gas. You can't lose your momentum. If you lose your momentum, you dig a hole. It's very hard to get started again in this kind of sandy, decomposed granite with the crumbly rocks. Made it to the top. Good job, Trixie. Is that peak off to the right? I think I'm gonna summit that peak. I think that's the one. And there was no trail up it, but whenever you see a peak, when you go off-roading, it's always the highest peak or the highest couple peaks. There's always like a little hidden can, a sign-in book. And so I'm always, you know, if I go to a peak of one of the highest peaks, I'm always searching for that sign-in book. And I found one up there. And it had been 2 years since the last person had been to that peak. So I was pretty happy. It was pretty cool to find those, you know. I like doing that. Now the book, it's pretty worn out. I need to bring in my own little notepads. I've designed my own little hardcore enduro notepad that I was going to start bringing it, and I think it'd be fun to like plan them up in several peaks and then make it a little like a treasure hunt or something like that, of, you know, finding the different sign-in books on top of each peak. So I'm heading up to the canyon. It's really the hard section. I'm gonna get to this mine, and after the mine is when the trail kind of, you can see this is still kind of well traveled. The fresh track is mine from yesterday though. So here's an old abandoned mine again, and the trail goes off to the right, and I'm gonna go up straight there. That canyon there. It's gonna get really, really hard through here. There was a trail, you can see there's an old trail that was burned in a little bit, but all the fresh track is mine from yesterday. Now I came down this yesterday, so now I'm going up. Little ledge right here. Had to get really forward on the bike, pop that front and up.
Good.
Like, all right, I don't see where'd my tire marks go? Which really, yeah, it's all right. I wanted it to be hard, so my goal was to not just follow the trails as much as get into these rocks and really get some good practice training of getting over rocks here. Because when I did the King of the Motos, this was a lot of how the King of the Motos, the trail was. So you need to get more practice of going just through dry creek beds and all these big boulders and rocks with little, you know, 1 foot, 2 foot ledges, being able to pop the bike up and over them. So good training going up this. And Spengler has a couple, so there's several creeks just like this in this area where you can see that line went up to the left. I said, no, I'm going to stay down in the creek and get through these rocks. This little area of Spengler just has a bunch of these little rocky creeks you can go up or down. Really good training. And you can tell no one's doing this. You got to be crazy to like this style of riding. You know, it's not for everyone. I understand that. It is hard. It's painful. And it's just so much work, but I just love it. I don't know what it is. I love this style of riding. You just get such good training, you know. The fast and flow stuff is a lot of fun, but it really doesn't force you to get better as a rider, because you can just, you know, you're just twisting the throttle. Whereas here, you gotta, it's all body position. You gotta plan where you're gonna put the bike. You got a little arm pump in the left arm. Gonna shake that out. So here, aiming with the rear, get that front tire high, drop the front tire down. Thanks to Rich Larson, he teaches you always aim with the rear tire. So you want to get that rear tire up on the trail or wherever. You want to get that rear tire up where you want it, and then you can just pivot that front end around.
So don't want to be taking all these high lines out of the rocks.
Yeah, I want to get down in them rocks. Want to get into the hard stuff. I always talk about this. We like riding the hard stuff here, so we're gonna make it really hard. Now, if you guys are new to the channel here, I ride a 2016 WR 450, and she's a beast. She's weighs 270 pounds, and then I'm sitting around 225, so a little bit heavier. But you know, she still is able to get through. It is more work, I know. All the two-stroke guys, it is easier in the two-stroke. But it's not impossible, and it's not like extremely that much harder. Your skill plays such a huge role on your riding. You know, if the more skilled you are, the easier it is for you to get through this and less work. And I like the challenge. Plus, this bike was pretty cheap when I bought it. It was only about 5,000 bucks, which I think the price of bikes have come down a little bit, but gosh, new bikes are just so expensive. But the plan is this year, I do want to get a two-stroke this year and try it out. I mean, I've had Trixie here since 2018, so I think it's time to get a new bike. And but she's been good. Really, I've been happy with her. The ledge, pop that in up. Balance is key, gotta stay upright, let the bike do the work. That VE33S, great tires, got the tall knobs. Now they're all pretty worn down. I guess I should have took a picture of the tire just to show you how worn that rear is. But those knobs are all kind of shaved off. It's still got really good traction, and that helps too with that soft mousse. So having that soft mousse really lets that tire just wrap around those rocks and really gets good traction. Now as I go up, you can see I'm doing the old 511 special there, throwing my weight over the rear fender, getting it back, I center the bike up, and I'm throwing my weight forward. Close to get my hips as close to the handlebars as possible.
That's a hard hit.
And then I release the clutch at the same time. The timing has to be right, so you're not releasing the clutch too hard or too early or too late. And once you get your body weight above the handlebars, and then you're pressing on the foot pegs, you're releasing the clutch, and it just times it so that your body weight then helps that bike up and over the obstacle. I'm not perfect at it, but the more you do it, the better you get. Yeah, making some progress. Not breathing too heavy yet, so that's a good sign. A lot of rocks too is having confidence. So the more you do this, the higher your confidence gets. You're able, sometimes you just get psyched out of hitting an obstacle, and it's having that confidence to get up the obstacle really is big, because the bike can do it. It is, can you mentally make yourself do it? So I get off, like these are old lines here. You can just tell no one has been in here in a long time. I think I'm kind of off the line right now. I think it's to the left a little bit. I thought this was it. This might have been an old line, or maybe it's just a little water wash right here, but kind of ends up, so I cut left right there. Just kind of side hilling over to the left. I'm like, I remember coming down here. Where is the line? And when I'm telling you, it's an old line. So I'm still off it. I see it up ahead. It's down, so I went a little high. Yeah, a little bit. There it is. So now this is line. You can see no one's been here in a while, and now that tire mark is mine from yesterday. But no one's ridden this trail in a long time. It's always fun finding these old, I call them abandoned trails. I mean, they're not really abandoned. They just haven't been ridden in a while. This hard stuff. It takes a rare breed, crazy individual to enjoy this style of riding. It beats you up. really rocky through here. That peak, okay, so that one straight ahead, I'll be summiting that one. So I'm gonna go down and cross over the ridge, and then from the other side, I'm gonna be going up that. And there's no trail up it, so I just kind of have to cut in my own zigzag trail going up there. But it wasn't too bad. It was pretty rocky, but I was able to get up, and that's where they have a little sign-in booklet. So if you guys come out to Spangler, do a little treasure hunting, a little cash can hunting maybe, and find the summits, some of the taller summits. There usually is a can up there to sign in. It's kind of fun. Really rocky coming down through. Now to the right, where the valley dips down, right to the right here. I'll be coming up that a little bit later. So that was another really rocky one, getting up that. And this whole area has a bunch of these really rocky. I was thinking if I can get up right here, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna head over to the far ridge and then go up that route. But yeah, this whole area is just a lot of those really rocky, hard enduro style of trails going through the creeks. And a lot of fun, good training. Gonna cut across the side hill. Hey, I got a little real narrow through here. You can see the rocks bumping me along. And you got a little uphill battle. Just got to carry the momentum. You got to carry that momentum, and the bike will just keep on creeping. Keeping the balance here. Don't want to get kicked out to the left. Nice, good job, Georgie. Trixie, she's making me look good today. Some days she makes me look bad, but today she's making me look really good. So I keep looking up. I'm like, all right, someone has to have done this already. So I've never been up there, and I'm just thinking, all right, someone has had to have done this. Like, there's crazy people like me that just see that hilltop, mountaintop, and I got to get up there, you know. I don't see one, so I just said, all right, I'm just going to start cutting my own way up there. Which wasn't too bad. Right yet. It is going to get a little bit harder, a little steeper. But I feel like maybe I'm just getting a little bit better as a rider, so I wasn't scared to try it out. Like, I was like kind of going for it in some spots. Getting steep here. I gotta do a little switchback pivot here. Now it's a little gap, so I roll back a little bit and I see this little ledge. I'm gonna shoot this little gap here on that ledge, and then I'm gonna pivot left around that big rock. So shoot it up here, and then I'm gonna get that rear tire up. Gotta get that rear tire up more, and then pivot that left around, or the front tire left around. Trixie, she's almost doing a straight up wheelie right here. I mean, that nose is pretty high, but I'm keeping in control. Now this is going up, so going down a little bit easier because you just, gravity can do its work. But when I'm going up, I'm just trying to keep the traction, pick lines where I know, I'll be able to get traction. Some of these rocks will give way, so you got to just be careful where you putting your foot, putting your tire, so the rock don't roll out on you. All right, get it around there. Good job. Got my weight in the outside peg there with the left foot, dabbing with the right foot. Trying to keep that bike upright. So I don't want to lean it in too much to the hillside, because then it starts cutting, and that's where that back end slides out. So a little 511 special. There she does it. See all that? So I got my weight as far back as I could, almost all the way. My arms are fully extended, my hips are back, and then I'm gonna throw my weight forward and my hips forward. You're not just moving your shoulders, not your shoulders. You got to get your hips forward. And as you do that, just a little drop of the clutch. Not a lot of throttle. You see, I wasn't like revving out or anything. It keeps down the wheel spin. And that body weight up, drop the clutch, that bike is able to then creep up and over that ledge or that rock. Now, it's not perfect every time, 'cause I ain't a pro at it, but you know, the more you practice it, the better it gets. Right here, I'm going to swing right, so I got to pivot right over here. Shoot that little gap. Trying to find a little bit of an easier line through here. The bike fit through that little gap in the rocks. Got to pivot back left. I see it's sandy. I'm like, oh, don't give out, but it looks like a clean run up there, so I carry the momentum. And she climbed right up that, folks. Look at that.
Right up and over.
Up and over. The top is right at the top, so I'm almost to the top already. Right here, really rocky. You got to shoot the rocks up here. This is where Rich, he always talks about tire placement. Of where you got to pick when you're going to stop or start the bike. So you want to stop usually at the top of a rock. You don't want to stop with the tires that are right behind the rock or right in front of it, I guess. So you want a little bit of momentum. It really helps out. There's a little 511 there. Didn't work that time, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work the second time. Sometimes, yeah, the tire just slipped a little bit. Now it's at an angle, so then I gotta, because the bike slid out, now I gotta pivot the bike right a little bit. And there's where that rear tire just hung up. It's got about a foot up. It's got to get over, so I'm gonna try to push back, and then I do it, you know, push back and then throw my weight forward, and it climbed right up it. Here's another little ledge here. So I get the bike with that front tire right in the front of that ledge. Same thing, weight back. Throw the weight forward, drop the clutch, and it climbs right up. There's my GoPro and my tripod. I videoed me coming up there. Yeah, man, I got the photo. Signature pose.
Someone had a book here, looked like.
Yeah, I was looking for the can. The sign-in can. There it is. Found it.
There it is.
Yeah. So, I bet there's other summits out here that have these little cash cans and you can sign in. So I'd like to come out and hit some more summits. There's another summit off to the right that's even taller than this one. And I bet it has one up there too. So last time someone was up here
22
is 2022. So it's been 2 years since someone's been up. And there was quite a few people. They had a little group. So we got Hardcore Enduro in the books. I'm going to start signing up is up. When I do summits here, Hardcore Enduro, up is up. Any way to get up works. Now I just basically had to go down the same route I came up. Just being careful on my balance, not letting that front tire get caught in a rock. But mostly just letting gravity do the work. It was much easier going down than coming up. So now I am 2 creeks over, 2 kind of mountain ridges over from where I just summited that peak. And I see this line going here. And I know there's some really nasty rocky sections here. And this one turned out to be a beast. And I decided I would try to tackle this one at another time. I was like, all right, this is going to take me a little longer than I think I'd like. So, and this would be a good one, I think, coming up. Anyways, I see the fresh tracks. People have been coming down here, so I'm like, all right, this can't be too hard. And then you get up here, and there's just like a waterfall cliff. You can see everyone's turned around. But I did see there was like an old burned-in track, so I knew some crazy guy's done it. So I'm like, all right, I'll do this at a later date. So here's where everyone's turning around. You can see where they're kind of doing the pivot, but you could go to the right here and kind of scoot around this waterfall. So that's darn near a 10-foot drop right there. I'd have to go over here to the right and go down. I could see there was you could see there's a line there, and I know you can't tell on the GoPro, but when I was there, I could see it. The line ran right there. And I thought, well, I'd like to do this coming up. Anyway, so I also turned around. And I said, all right, I'll go down a different one, and then I'll come up this one. But I never did come up this one, so I'll have to come out another day, another time, and hit this route coming up. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Even the other ones that you'll see, I mean, it gets really good. So I'm gonna head back and head down the next creek over to my left. So there I am. So bam, in a flash, I'm over there. So to the right, that's the summit I just went up and came down. If I would just do a hard right and Graham Jarvis go all the way up to the top of the hill, that would be where I was at. So this turned out to be a really gnarly creek, or going down to this little canyon creek. Just super rocky. There was an old line, so I was following a little trail going down, but pretty hard. You can see that's the trail that I'm on. Old tire marks. Maybe over a year, 2 years, who knows, and the last time someone's been down in here. I ride this solo, so when you ride solo, you gotta be smart. You can get yourself in a world of hurt out here, and so I am riding just a little bit more cautious than what you do on like a race day. Race day, you got people helping you out. If something happened, there's people that could go and get help for you. So, but riding solo, just gotta be a little bit more cautious, which, that's all right with me. Had a big drop off here, so I just scouting ahead, making sure it's gonna be possible. Yeah, you see there's a line there, old line. Wonder if they were coming up that though. Some of these lines though you gotta watch out for, because they're just rain runoff. You think, oh, there's a line there, but it's actually just where the rainwater goes and cuts a little groove. As I'm going down this steep part here, there's some gas coming out of the bike. I don't know how it's coming out. It's coming out of the
my bike.
Yeah, it's coming out of the little vent tube. It's a little strange. Never done that before. Getting gas all over the engine. Gonna blow up. You're gonna leave me stranded with no gas out here, Trixie. What are you doing? I thought it was water. I was like, this bike never overheats, but it was gas and not water. So I don't know what was going on right there. Yeah, there was another turnaround point there, which that might have been someone going up and just trying to get a second run at it. Still going down. Gets real steep through here. You got to pick a good line. Several spots where I felt like I was going to go over the handlebars, but I was able to get through. I do go over the handlebars at one point. I'll point that out when it comes. It happened twice today. 2 times today I went over the handlebars, going over a ledge, which it's an eerie feeling going over. You feel helpless when you're just like, you just start tipping over and there's absolutely nothing you can do except bail. Woo. Another little steep drop down through here. Trying to plan safely. Going to the left. Once you start going to prevent that, you got to let that bike roll. And I think both times when I tip over, my front tire gets caught by a little rock, and the bike isn't able to roll forward, and that's what caused me to go over the bars. And it's just like timber, you're just going over, nothing you can do. Really rocky through here. Look at these rocks, folks. This is what King of the Motos was like, going through this kind of stuff. So this is good, hard enduro practice. Now I do have my suspension stiffer just because I know I'd be going fast through the whoops out here in Spangler, so these rocks are just hitting a little harder than I would like. It wasn't bad, but I did notice a difference, and just making it a little tougher to get through these rocks. Now coming up is this ledge that I'm gonna go over the handlebars. And I just I look back now that I'm watching, I picked a bad line choice, and my front tire gets wedged at the bottom, right here. Here's the drop. So I should have gone left more, but I go right. And over the bars, yep. Thank God there's a soft, sandy landing for me, but you see how my front tire's wedged there? I should have went left. If I went left, it wouldn't have got wedged right there, and I would have just went down fine. So, lesson learned. Going downhill, you gotta be smart about where you're putting your front tire. Even then, you know, I could have given it a little blip of a throttle. I gotta learn how to do that on ledges, being able to just get my front tire up so I'm not having to land straight down and I can land flat. Now I'm getting all gun shy. I got my front tires wedged in there again. Nothing zaps your confidence like going over the handlebars. It's the most horrible feeling. You're totally helpless. Got a couple chuckers taking off. Chuckers still in season. If you're a falconer, we looked it up because I was like, man, are they in season right now? I found chuckers. I haven't been able to find chuckers. I find quail, of course we shoot dove, but I've never been able to find a chucker, and I know they're out here. So we looked it up, and if you're a falconer, you can still hunt chuckers using your falcon. There's a gnarly hill climb to the left right there. It really faded in. It's right in the middle. I'm like, that is insane. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I just need to learn how to train my falcon to fly along as I'm riding my dirt bike. That way I can scare out the chuckers, and then that falcon, bam, he'll get them. That would be awesome. Alright, so I'm gonna keep going down this little creek, and then there's gonna be a hard right, and then I'm gonna go up another little canyon creek section here, and this is that one I released, that short that was saying I had found a little hard enduro in Spangler, and of course you can see everyone turning around right there. People go up this canyon, they're like, nope, that's too hard. But here we are. This is a nice hard line going up this little canyon here, and that short made it look like it was nothing. I'm like, really? I do all that work to set up the camera on the tripod. You know, I gotta hike up the hill. You can go straight in the canyon, but I see the right line there, so I'm gonna. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna hit this high line up here, keeping my balance, keeping the momentum. That IRC VE33S, it is doing such a good job. I really like this tire. I think it's my new go-to. It's just all around a good tire. Like, it is a soft tire. It's not the softest gummy, but it is a soft tire, so it doesn't last forever. But as far as your ride, it really, you know, you get a lot of bang for your buck. As far as performance, it's a really good tire.
How's it around the creek? Probably easier than this one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm up here in this little side hill action. It's hard because you can get kicked out real easy. And you don't want to get kicked out and fall left here. So, but it's good practice, you know. Good practice being in the creek. Good practice being up here in this high line. But then I decide, all right, let's get down into the nitty gritty here. Let's get down into the creek. So right up here is where I'm going to set up the old tripod and get my short in. So you can see how this looks gnarly as heck. I was like, oh, that's going to look awesome on the camera. But then you see it on the short video, and it basically looked like nothing. So here it is.
Looks good.
So I set up the camera to the right there, and I'm off. So camera's up. Look how gnarly. This looks really gnarly. It's steep. and it has these little ledges step up. So I am getting pretty tired this point in time. So just trying to be smart about my placement, and it's good practice of getting your wheel placement where you need to get it, and then throwing your weight back, or putting your weight back, and then throwing your hips forward. Getting a lot of good practice of that right now. Yeah, making it look easy there, Trixie. Good job. Here we go. Got to go get the camera now.
Good.
I was thinking maybe I should just ride the bike down and grab the camera instead of hiking down like I did at that top of the hill. I had to hike up the hill. Maybe it'd be easier to ride the bike down. Anyways, worth it. Worth the video. Still climbing up. Nice, easy does it. Look at this, carrying the momentum. Just got some little rocks and step ups to get up and over. I was doing good. I think, man, if I rode like this at the King of the Motos, I would have done way better. Of course, King of the Motos, a lot of it is the bottlenecks, you know, and that is hard enduro in general. Sometimes it's not the obstacle that gets you, it's just waiting in your turn in the bottleneck that really takes a lot of time. You know, maybe you can't be so polite. You got to be a little bit more of a jerk and kind of push through those bottlenecks a little faster. Almost to the top, and Trixie's just doing so good. So even that worn out tire, still, that gummy, I'm telling you, it's still got amazing traction here. Now on the sandy hill climb, if we're out in Jawbone, I'd want the M5B, or I'd want maybe just a fresh tire, because that is like pure sand dune, or like Bean Canyon. If you guys ever been out to Bean Canyon, some of them hill climbs is just sand, and you know, even a paddle, if you had a paddle to hit some of those hill climbs, are just so gnarly. Alright, we're back to the top of the saddle, what I was talking about earlier. So I said I was be coming up that, which I did. Now I wanted to hit this because I went down. I wanted to get a video of going up it, just see how rocky that is. And there's a good little ledge right here to the left, so pivot the front end around. It's good practice here. There's a pretty good steep ledge coming up, and you got to be on the gas. And this is just a confidence deal. Being able to keep on that gas, get that front end over, get that rear tire up. Good practice there. There's one ledge like that in Donner that was just really hard. It was one of the hard lines, and it had this ledge, like a 3-foot ledge, and you really had to just kind of splatter that back end, you know, get that front end up with enough speed so that when that back end hits, it just carries your momentum over. So it's very similar to that step up back there. Alright, so I turned around and went just back down where I came, and now I went back across that open face of that mountain and picked this line going down. There's a rocky section through the canyon on the next ridge over that I did the day before that looked pretty cool, so I wanted to get that on the camera here. It was pretty tough, but doing it the second time now, it was much easier than it was the first time. The confidence is pretty high right now. I know I had that over the bars tip over, but I think I got my confidence all back because I made that Rocky Creek pretty easy. I was tired, but just normal tired. I wasn't gassed. You know, when you get gassed, you just can't do anything. So I'm getting bounced around. I'm here pretty good. But when you get gassed, you just start making bad decisions. It just compounds you, and it just gets harder and harder to ride. So we're coming up. There's a little bypass to the right, which everyone takes. You can see it straight ahead of me. Go straight up that bypass, or you can go left here through the gorge here, which is what I'm gonna do. So I did this yesterday, so I already knew what I was getting into, and really it was much easier the second time. And that's all good. You know, building your confidence, hitting obstacles, knowing the bike can do it is so beneficial. There we go. There's my line. I went left there. I was thinking maybe I could pick a new one to the right. But I'm like, all right, don't get too cocky here. Do what you did yesterday because it was still pretty good. All right, get a little momentum. Get that front end up. So I got up enough where I got that rear tire up over the obstacle, which is good. Yep. Bunch of slabs to the right. I wonder if I could do that to the right over there. Maybe I should have done it a third time and picked a different route. But save that for another ride. Here's a little narrow area. Same thing. Got a rock back. Just get a little bit of momentum. That rear tire just grabs. It hooks up. There's a big drop to the right. It's about a 5-foot drop to the right there, so I don't want to lose my balance to the right.
Let's see. That's a big rock right there. Maybe hit it right there.
All right, just looking at the line, so I'm going to pivot left a little bit just to get a little bit better line. Same thing. Got the 511 right there, and then another one right here. Just got to zap it over this little ledge. Right on. Now the last part here out of the waterfall is this kind of vertical wall right there.
Big wall.
And not too hard. Just get the speed. Let your momentum carry you up the wall. Nice. Could have gassed it a little bit more. I would have gotten over the top. But then you can just drop back down and head right, which is what I do here. I have seen, it did look like some guys have been going higher than I did. I was like, dang, I should have give it a little bit more gas. Of course, the camera doesn't show you how steep that wall. That was pretty steep right there. And then when you clean an obstacle, it just makes it look like it was nothing. But trust me, folks, it's a little intimidating, but got through it. So I was really happy about that. There you go. Get up here. Nice hill climb to the left here.
Yeah, let's go up that one.
Yeah, let's do it, buddy. No run up, just straight into it. Sometimes you don't have a run up. Sometimes you just gotta hit a climb from a dead start, you know. So good practice up here. Really rocky and loose. Oh, Trixie's grabbing. All right, gotta recenter, cut left. So I'm not having a lot of momentum here, but still good training. You know, a lot of times you do climbs and you don't get it in one shot, and you got to learn how to reestablish that momentum. So that's what I'm doing here. I kind of rock back and forth, kind of repacking the dirt down a little bit, and then when I think I'm ready to go, I give it that final rock and just ease into. I don't want to dump the clutch too much at one time because that rear tire just dig a hole real quick. So you got to kind of ease clutch out and throttle on to get that momentum going. But once you get going, she climbs. Yeah, you got this. A couple little steep step ups I can see at the top here. Let's get it. All right, ease it on. Here we go. Keep the momentum up. One step up, another one, and then the last one. Well done, Trixie. Georgie looking like a pro, man. I'm telling you, it's looking good. All right, so we're gonna start heading back to camp now. Don't want to get the wife too worried about me. Now, when I ride, I do ride with the little Garmin InReach Mini, and I'm at the Mini 2 now, and it lets me text, so I can text my wife and let her know where I'm at. It has a tracking function too, that she can track me, although she never tracks me, so I feel like that function's kind of wasted. It is $24 a month, but when you ride solo and you like riding the hard stuff, or even if you never know when you're gonna crash, I think it's smart, and it's worth the safety. Being able to call for help wherever you are. Now I come up here is a hard right, and I think, do I need a run up? Nah, just hit it from here. You got this. So I'm just gonna do a little right pivot and get up to the top here, which worked out great because this brought me exactly where I wanted to be. Yeah. So straight ahead of me now is that run I went down where I had that open mine shaft and I went down. Now I'm gonna go right up it, so it just worked out perfect. It's exactly where I wanted to go. So nice climb through here. It had some little rocky ledges, nice rocks bumping me around. There's a nice steep ledge right there. Just kept on the gas, went right up. Now I was sitting down, which right here is another real steep part. But that 33S, I mean, it just climbs this like nothing. It's made for this. So not the sand, just the rocky terrain. That tire just grabs like no other. Just eating it up. Look at that. Yeah. A little bit of a high line right here. Nice. Just keeping that momentum going, and she just keeps on climbing. Good balance. A lot of hill climbing is balance. You got to keep that bike centered and let that tire just keep grabbing. So there's that mine shaft back there, just for reference if you guys are getting lost. You can get so turned around in Spangler sometimes you forget where the hell you are. Now up here to the left, there's a group of riders that are going up that there's a little rocky climb that I did earlier in the video, and I just came down, went to talk to them a little bit and see how they're doing. So you got that rocky climb up there. Uh-huh. This guy's got this old Suzuki.
What year is that? What year?
2001.
Oh, 01. Right on.
Dang, even an 01 looks really old. Alright, so they had been going up here, but that one woman I was talking to wasn't going to do it. And I thought, sometimes it helps just seeing someone hit an obstacle or go up a hill climb real easy. It makes you think, oh, it wasn't that hard, So at least that's how I feel. When I'm sitting there stuck and I see someone just go over an obstacle up a hill, I'm like, man, they made it look real easy. It can't be that hard. So blast it on up there. Felt good. Good ride today. Now, this was the morning ride. I'm going to have lunch, and then I'll do kind of almost an evening ride as the sun was going down. But I'll save that for another video. This one's already, they get kind of long, these videos. But I like to keep in as much as I can. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Spangler, Spangler is a lot of open desert, open whoop stuff, and on the south side they got some massive hill climbs that are really sandy. I mean, they're big. But on the north side it does have some nice rocky canyon, hard enduro type of trails. So just wanted to show that out there. Had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're gonna bring this one to an end, and until the next one comes out, get out and ride and get some.
Hi. Hello. What do you got there? Another piece of glass? Yeah, I see. It's a piece of glass. Yeah, that's a daddy. Thank you.